Coming up on Chapman News, we'll have the story of one man's life dedication to preserving history through cars. Chapman News starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Bailey Maloney.
And I'm Wes Rappaport. Zoe Loza has your weather update in just a few moments. Former President George W. Bush was joined by former presidents at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, to celebrate the opening of the 43rd President's Library and Museum, the George W. Bush Presidential Center. The event attracted more than 10,000 invited guests, as well as 500 SMU students who watched the speeches from an outdoor viewing screen. All 5 living presidents, Barack Obama, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and George H.W. Bush, were in attendance, as well as Prime Minister Tony Blair. The museum will house over 200 million emails and more than 48 million artifacts. The library is located on the 23-acre site on the campus of SMU and will be open to the public on May 1st.
An attempted kidnap of a 15-year-old schoolgirl in Santa Ana leads to one man's arrest. Police say Moises Rendon jumped out of a car's passenger seat and charged the girl. They say he attempted to grab her, wearing gloves and holding a rag in one hand. She was able to escape while the suspect got back into the passenger seat. Rendon was booked into the Santa Ana PD jail for attempted kidnap, but his driver is still at large. Anyone with information is asked to contact Santa Ana PD. The vehicle is described as a red Toyota Corolla with a spoiler on the rear trunk. Police say Rendon is a husband and a father.
Orange County supervisors unanimously approved a resolution Tuesday that asked the South Coast Air Quality Management District not to impose a ban on open fire pits at local beaches. The board would prefer that this decision on the fire pits be left up to the municipal governments. Huntington Beach is fighting the ban, saying that they believe it's an important part of beach culture, as well as the primary source of money the city receives annually. So they've started a petition to help save the fire pits. Newport Beach, on the other hand, already has voted to remove all 60 pits. The air quality officials expect the vote on the ban to happen in June. If passed, the ban will affect all Orange County beaches.
Hybrid cars might be taking over the automobile industry, but vintage cars are still alive and running. Chapman News reporter Leah Freeman took a ride back in time and spun around the block with one of Orange County's car legends.
Hudson car collector Press Kale has been restoring vintage vehicles for over 50 years. The 79-year-old has loved Hudson cars since he was a kid.
My dad had a 1934 Terraplane, which is just like the pickup, only a sedan. And I remember riding in it, and I was probably 5 years old then.
Kale's mechanical work has brought him great success over the years in various meets and shows. His most rewarding moments include meeting people from all over the world that share his hobby of collecting cars.
Well, I think the favorite part of it is taking the cars out to meets and meeting so many interesting people, and so many people enjoying the work that you put into the car finishing it.
In 1980, Kale opened his own business called K-Gap, where he made and sold parts for Hudson cars. The 26 years of business were successful for the Buena Park car expert who sold parts all over the world.
Once I opened up in the morning, I never got a chance to stop until I closed at night. There were always somebody waiting in line to buy parts.
Kale's 4 Hudson cars will remain timeless antiques and live on through his family generations. Reporting from Buena Park, I'm Leah Freeman, Chapman News.
Press Kale's cars have been featured on the History Channel and in 2012 adventure film starring Kristen Stewart.
And now it's time for our Hero of the Week. For this week, we meet an inspirational professor who opened up a center for children in one of Santa Ana's poorest communities.
9 months ago, the Evergreen Cedar Community Center opened its doors in one of Santa Ana's poorest neighborhoods.
When I came here to California, I came to do a program for promotoras in mental health. So I was asked to do an evaluation of the mental health status of the juvenile hall. And half of those kids came from this neighborhood. When I thought, wow, how can it be possible? So I start looking into what is this neighborhood.
The center opened up when Pastor Kevin Brown and Eastern Michigan professor Christina Jose Kampfner rented a 2-bedroom apartment on Evergreen Street.
I hear about Pastor Kevin, and Pastor Kevin is a really wonderful man that's done quite a lot of things in gang prevention. So I talked to Pastor Kevin and I said, I really would like to start a center.
Dr. Christina offers therapy, tutoring, drug education, parent training, and she makes sure that the kids really learn to love school at the center.
We have no funding, which is an interesting thing, but we do lots of things. I do something really that I love. The kids, the first thing they do is they read, and I put classical music that at the beginning was like, but now I love it.
On Wednesday night, the center held a fundraiser to raise enough money for the basic needs of the center for 3 to 4 months, which could be up to $10,000.
I want to say thank you so much to all the people that came in today. Today we have
The fundraiser had Latin American art expert Gregorio Luke lecturing on the life and work of Mexican painter Frida Kahlo, and the neighborhood woman cooked and served some of Kahlo's favorite foods.
But my dream is that they will run the center by themselves, and they will. They will. I promise you that if God helps me in about a year, they'll run it by themselves.
From Santa Ana, I'm Moore Abelak, Chapman News.
Christina was able to raise enough money to keep the center open for another year. They're also in need of tutors, especially math, so if you're interested, head on over and visit.
What a great story.
A great one. Moments away on Chapman News, details of Chapman's campus expansion plan.
And a bomb threat in Tribuca Hills prompts the search of a local high school.
Plenty of sunshine out there today, and it looks like this weekend will be a perfect chance to catch some rays at our Masson Family Beach Club. I'll give you the weekend forecast coming up next on Chapman News.
There's victims, and the stadium is packed. We've got the emotional video coming up.
Hi, this is Phil Hewlett, and you're watching Chapman News. Anaheim Ducks goal!
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Well, it is a beautiful day. The sun is finally out.
I know, we had a lot of that wind last week. Glad to see that's gone.
Absolutely. A little rain yesterday as well. After record high temperature this past week, a little surprising we had to dust off those rain boots.
Zoe Loza, tell me, will it be bikinis or boots this weekend?
Hey guys, thanks so much. Wes, get your bikini ready for sure. And I hope you guys know I love working on this newscast, but I'm sure we can all agree that once 1 p.m. rolls around, we'll be ready to enjoy this weekend's sunshine. Let's take a look at those current conditions. Nice conditions out there right now. Some morning clouds will leave us soon. As the sunshine takes the lead this weekend, you can leave your jackets at home. Now let's take a look at current temperatures across Southern California. We have 63 down in San Diego, 65 in Los Angeles, a little bit cooler up in San Jose with 56. Now let's take a wider look at the country, some moderate temperatures across the nation. 61 up in New York, 81 down in Miami, 50s and 60s all throughout the Midwest. Let's take a closer look at this region. Newport Beach sure to be a hot spot this weekend. Today will be mostly a south-southwest swell. Wave height overall will drop, but expect rideable, even fun surf at the standout breaks. As we get to Sunday, conditions may not be so great, but it could add a little more size and consistency. Let's look at the 5-day forecast. 75 degrees today with a low of 56, tomorrow 80, Sunday 81, a little bit cooler during the week with a high of 77 on Monday and 74 on Tuesday. So get out to the beach this weekend, to the pool, you know, just have some fun. Enjoy that beautiful Orange County weather. Bailey, you're already showing a nice base tan, but you know, Wes, you might want to keep that sunscreen close at the baseball field this weekend. I don't know, maybe Bailey can help you out a little bit with that.
Absolutely. I have no problem helping him out with the sunscreen.
You know what? It's okay. I'll get there. I need a little bit of extra sunscreen. Thank you, Zoe. I will be sure to keep it nearby. Well, their slogan is spreading God's love one boat at a time. We're now joined by Jim Holden and former NFL QB Jim Everett from the organization Fish for Life. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today.
Pleasure. Good to be here. Thank you. You bet.
So I know that this organization was founded several years ago in 2009, and sort of the inspiration came from your friend Jeffrey. Can you tell us what motivated you to create this organization?
Oh, absolutely. Jeffrey, good friend of mine, he's got cerebral palsy, and he and I would meet for lunch about every other month, and I'd always tell him fishing stories for about 3 years prior to the inception of Fish for Life. One day in 2009, I said, hey, Jeffrey, let's go do something. You know, what would you like to go do? And he said, I'd love to go fishing. So that day, going back to the office, I felt like God came out of the clouds and said, here's your calling. So that's when it all started. It's like, take a boatload. Yeah.
Actually, take a boatload. That's great.
That's it. That's it.
Jim Everett, you played 12 seasons in the NFL. So how does that really correlate with now being a role leader for this great organization?
Well, I think anytime you're in the public eye, it's nice to be able to give back. I'm not in the public eye right now, you know, as much. So, you know, this was an organization that I'm a close friend of Jim. He came with the idea, and I'm like, I'm all in. I'm all in with it. And, you know, that's going to lead to our poker tournament we're going to be having here pretty soon, where we're going to be all in on upcoming. So we raise money for these boat rides, and it's awesome. You get 30 kids coming down the red carpet. I mean, it is. They get their names announced, just like an all-star. I mean, and these kids, it's the first time they've been on a boat, first time they've caught a fish. I usually take 2 kids. That's what we have is when you're on the boat. And I've been on, I don't know, about a dozen boats, but it's so fun to see the experience. I know one little girl had never touched a fish, and we have them bait their own hooks. And so just for her to catch the bait fish was huge. And then afterwards, she's just talking about it and talking about it all day. And what Jim does also is they give the kids a whole photo album of their whole day. And by the way, it's free for the kids and their sponsors. So, I mean, it's really, really a good day. It's actually a great day, and we spread the love.
Now, can you talk about a little bit about how this partnership between the two of you was established?
Sure. Well, this is the model as it stands right now is, you know, it's like Jim says, it's all free. Kids come down, everybody gets T-shirts, okay? After everyone's arrived, we use the stern of the Dana Pride out of Dana Wharf, and they've been a huge partner as a podium, the stern, okay? And then we have speakers acknowledge the crowds, and it's really for the parents' sake, you know, and it's so flattering, you know, for them to see, wow, look at all these cool guys coming down to honor my child. And with that, we have local mayors we have NFL guys, okay? And Jim's been just a huge supporter of it, okay? And then after the speakers, we have someone say a prayer, and then we have an individual or a group sing the national anthem. And then after that, we roll down the red carpet, introduce each child one at a time. They come down, they go through on the deck, a gauntlet of volunteers giving them high fives. They get aboard, they all get assigned fishing team leaders. We shove off to the theme songs of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Go over to the bait barge, okay? You know, the kids get a kick out of seeing the bait being loaded. And then when we shove off out of that, the harbor master lines up a fireboat. And they put on a water show and blow the sirens.
That's great.
Then we go out fishing. And then we include non-special needs kids, too, to serve appetizers before and after lunch, like a real nice buffet-style lunch. And it's like a life lesson for them, interacting. You know, it's
and
fabulous.
on the way back in, which is always a favorite time, no matter if we've caught one fish or 2,000 fish. Each one of our kids get a trophy, a Fish for Life trophy, and we get to present that to them and tell something about the child, something about what we've learned, and each one of the, either if it's an athlete or a mayor or whoever's there, gets to present this to the child, which is, you know, an added thing for their memory. It's just a wonderful day. It's something that I think is just as good as experience for the child as it is for the people that are giving. Absolutely. It really, and so I keep coming back.
This is just such a fishing experience in grand style. You know, what is your future for this organization look like, near future?
Well, the model can work anywhere there's fishing and there's big boats, okay? So we've done trips out of Dana Point. We've done 2 trips out of Chicago off the Navy Pier. This year we'll do 6 trips out of Dana Point, and one, the Seattle Mariners are sponsoring a trip up on the Puget Sound. And on that one, we're going to go out on one of those deadliest catch boats. Wow. Yeah. So the model just works, and it could be, you know, to answer your question, scale it. Get it in harbors, anywhere, you know, someone wants to step up, you know, run the program.
Well, the website is fishforlife.org. Thank you so much to Jim Holden and Jim Everett. We really appreciate you guys taking the time.
And just real quick, Texas Hold'em Tournament, May 10th. Go to the website if you're interested. We're going to have a bunch of NFL guys there, and they'll have bounties on their heads. If you knock them out of the tournament, you get a prize.
Yeah, you're not knocking me out.
Oh, yes, I am.
No, you're not. No. Wes, buddy, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
It's really good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See you at the tournament.
Well, it seems that every year Chapman is growing and adding new offices and buildings. Reporter Gardner Royce looked into Chapman's expansion earlier this week.
Chapman University has recently grown in both reputation and size. To deal with the growing student body, the university has been constructing buildings like Doty Hall to help accommodate the incoming students and faculty. Home to the new communications department, construction on Doty Hall began at the beginning of the 2012 fall semester and opened its doors to students in the winter of 2013. For some Chapman students, expansion of the university means a more meaningful degree when they graduate.
I think it's important to increase the Chapman brand almost, and I think that expanding the campus will further expand on that brand.
While Doty Hall is the most recent building, the university has started the construction of a $64 million Center for the Music and Arts. Located on the corner of Walnut and Glassell, the center will feature state-of-the-art facilities and classrooms. I spoke with Mary Platt, Director of Communications and Media Relations at Chapman, and she told me that the excavation for the Maribel and Sebastian P. Musco Center for the Music and Arts was currently on schedule, and that the completion of the entire project would be done sometime in the early months of 2015. No word yet on the exact date of the grand opening of the center, but she said it would be sometime in that same fall. Along with the Center for Music and Arts, Platt said that the university is in the fundraising stage for the Science Center that will be built behind the Ernie Chapman Stadium. While many students see this growth as positive, some students feel the university should focus on other aspects of the campus.
But there isn't any indoor type of place where kids can go and play basketball whenever they want, or just lift in general. The weight room's small.
Regardless, Chapman University is currently going through a growth spurt, and it's just the beginning. With Chapman News, I'm Gardner Royce.
Thanks, Gardner. Hopefully we won't have too many growing pains.
Chapman University is taking over the Quality Inn Suites. and bringing on more housing, but this time it's for upperclassmen. The university recently announced the purchase of an all-suite hotel that will be renovated into new dorms. The new grounds include 1- and 2-bedroom suites fully stocked. The hotel is said to house 240 students and is only 2.5 miles away from campus. The new building is set to open when school starts back up in the fall. And authorities arrest a Trabuco Hills High School student suspected of making a false bomb threat Thursday afternoon, a day after the threat forced Sheriff's Department officials to search the campus. 18-year-old Julian Briere of Foothill Ranch faces a potential felony charge. Briere made the threat via email about noon on Wednesday. He reportedly indicated that there was a bomb on the Trabuco Hills High School campus. After a thorough search of the area, officials determined that there were in fact no explosives. Investigators are still searching for a motive for that false threat.
Californians may soon be spilling out extra cash for sugary drinks. Democrat State Senator Bill Moaning introduced the idea as a plan to fight obesity. The bill would likely cause manufacturers to raise drink prices by an extra cent per fluid ounce of liquid. Supporters say the price hike would discourage people from buying the drinks, while the extra money spent would go into a state fund for childhood obesity prevention. After the break, your dose of the NBA, NHL, and high school sports action.
Gardner Royce will join us with the highlights. What's up, Gardy?
Yeah, Wes, coming up in sports, champions crowned at a small school in OC. We'll find out how this Cinderella made it to the ball after this. You're watching Chapman News.
No!
Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Welcome back.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it is time for the best campus sports show with Gardner Royce himself.
Gardy, busy week, especially with both area NBA teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, Wes. Before I get to that, though, there's big news out of Oklahoma City. The Thunder announced that guard Russell Westbrook will be forced to undergo surgery to repair a torn meniscus in his right knee. Now, this is a severe blow for the #1 seed Thunder, who appeared to be a favorite in the Western Conference. But now back to local. The Clippers have become the focus of LA sports over the course of this season. Why? Because they're winning. Up 2-0 over the Grizzlies entering last night, they look to keep the magic going on the road. Grizzlies star Marc Gasol getting awarded the Defensive Player of the Year, but early on it was his offensive prowess that would lead the Grizzlies, here knocking down a long 2 in the first half. Then we have Conley getting it down to the other big man, Zach Randolph. Bang! He poured in 27 points and 11 rebounds to lead the Grizzlies. Here Conley to Bayless. Bang! He brought down the roof. This game was all Memphis all night. And then with the Clippers in the fourth. Chris Paul trying to make something happen to Blake Griffin, but he's called for the offensive foul. Too little, too late, and that's kind of how it went for the Clippers tonight. Here we see a Memphis Grizzlies fan throwing down a Clippers fan. That's how it went. But the Clippers still lead 2-1. Now going over to San Antonio, the Lakers look to steal one. However, getting Ginobili back from that injury means danger for the Lakers. Here drilling a three, but then you can always count on Mr. Fundamental, Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward in the NBA history. However, this game belonged to the Frenchman. Tony Parker poured in 28 points to lead the Spurs. And here we have him shooting it to Matt Bonner for the three. The Spurs would win, go up 2-0. Here's Pau Gasol on his team's chance.
We've been fighting our way back throughout the season, so it's no different than now. We're just going to try to win Game 3 and do our best to win that and secure and protect our home court as much as we can.
Now they're popping champagne corks at the little school on the hill in Irvine. Tiny Concordia University won the men's NAIA volleyball championship this weekend in Colorado. And as our Chapman News super freshman tells us, the title only begins to tell this Cinderella story.
The Concordia University men's volleyball team clinched the NAIA National Championship title last Saturday after defeating the top-seeded Park University 3-0. The victory marked a record-setting first for the small Lutheran Irvine-based liberal arts school, especially because the men's volleyball team only formed this year.
We were too talented to not put it all together and figure it out. So, I mean, a credit to our coaches for actually doing that, but I definitely had confidence in us the entire time.
Concordia won every single set at the championship and finished their first season 25-7. Coach Trevor Johnson won Coach of the Year.
It's just pure joy for me. It was a long season. You know, we started in August. I remember all the 5:30 a.m. conditioning and all the 6 a.m. practices, and so it's just a accumulation of not seeing my family and actually finishing on top.
Despite having a rough start to their first season, the Eagles' hard work and extra effort won Concordia its first #1 ranking in school history.
All believed that we could, but we weren't exactly sure, but we definitely put in the work and the effort.
Next season, the team will keep all of their players except for senior libero Brad Rostratter. The team that only started this year has set the bar high and proved that Concordia men's volleyball is a force to be reckoned with. From Concordia University, I'm Sammy Harrelson, Chapman News.
Trevor Johnson also coaches the Lady Eagles, the reigning women's champs. Now back to hockey. The Ducks are on their way to the playoffs, but the fans are packing into their practice facility. Adam Herbitz was at the Anaheim Ice where a more important hockey game took place, and the score doesn't even matter.
The Anaheim Ducks alumni team is on the ice, but instead of battling against their opponent, they're fighting for the families of fallen officers. They teamed up with the SoCal law enforcement and firefighters to host a charity hockey game.
We were putting on a show. We were raising awareness to raise awareness for some people that gave their lives so that we could live ours.
Longtime PA announcer Phil Hewitt has been calling the Ducks games for almost 2 decades, but seeing the family of Riverside officer Michael Crane on the ice made this one that much more special. Crane was killed by ex-cop Christopher Dorner in February. His wife and kids dropped a ceremonial first puck.
It was a beautiful moment. Can't bring Mr. Crane back, of course, but his memory lives on for everything that he's done. It was just great to see them here. You could still see the pain in their faces, but perhaps this was a little bit of a diversion.
It's pretty overwhelming, and words can't describe it. It rips your heart out. It really does.
I just want to make it a happy experience. You know what I mean? Giving high fives to the kids. You know, they're little, and one day it'll hit them. I don't think they understand yet, how important their father was and what a sacrifice he made.
The game itself rocked Anaheim Ice. 23 goals and a mid-game trade kept things interesting.
The law enforcement and the firefighters, they're serious about their hockey.
There was just a couple of guys on my team that were underperforming, and I can't have that. As the captain, it's my obligation to get my team up and running. So there's a couple guys that the other team thought was a little old, so we made a deal.
At the end of the day, the stadium was packed full and the team raised over $2,500. While the family of Officer Crane was the only one in attendance, the money will go towards all the families of Christopher Dorner's victims, including Monica Kwan, Keith Lawrence, and Detective Jeremiah McKay. If you weren't able to make it down to the event, you can find out how to make your donation at AnaheimDucks.com. Reporting in Anaheim, I'm Adam Herbets, Chapman News.
Following the mid-game trade, the SoCal law enforcement and firefighter team beat the Ducks 5-2. But guys, before we wrap, I want to give congratulations to the Chapman women's lacrosse team who advanced to the SkyX semifinals by beating Whittier 17-10 Wednesday night. The Panthers will face Occidental College in Los Angeles for the conference semifinals. Well, guys, there's a lot of great sports on this week. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
How about that draft, Gardy?
My two things, a lot of offensive linemen taken, a little surprising, and where's Geno Smith? Fell out of the first round, maybe today.
Definitely a surprising one. Coming up on Chapman News, TV host and producer Ryan Seacrest makes strides for Orange County kids.
And Lauren Faree is next with the latest and greatest in entertainment news. Lauren?
After the break, Nicole Chenoweth and I hit the Newport Beach Film Festival last night. I'll give you an insider look when we return.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Welcome back. Now, Bailey, I know you're excited about all your entertainment news, but I've got to hand most energetic to Lauren Faree. Always excited to give us our entertainment fix.
Absolutely, Lauren. We saw some awesome pictures of you and Nicole on the red carpet. How was that Newport Film Festival?
Bailey, Wes, it was so much fun. Last night, Chapman News reporter Nicole Chenoweth and I headed down to the peninsula to check out the opening night of the 14th annual Newport Beach Film Festival. The night began with the premiere of Broadway Idiot. This is a documentary about Green Day's Broadway musical American Idiot and the transition from music to theater and now to film. We were so excited to interview the bands on the red carpet, but the boys gave us a boulevard of broken dreams as they ignored the video press and stormed straight into the theater. But take a look at who we did get to talk to.
Newport Beach is being profiled once again. This is a great opportunity for the city, great for folks to come out. We've got great weather. Looking forward to a wonderful festival.
Well, I think, obviously Idol was a huge platform, but, being able to, do things like this and perform at events like this is always wonderful.
It was so much fun. I don't think I've ever laughed so much shooting a movie. Actually, to the point where we were holding up production because we couldn't stop laughing so much.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There is no more dramatic place than Orange County. Why would films not be here?
This is very true. I mean, we have the Real Housewives of Orange County here, and that's drama all day long.
I love just seeing the people of Orange County and Newport coming out and supporting not just necessarily big blockbusters, but it feels like kind of a small town type of vibe.
I just create anything. Even if I don't censor myself. When I write, I just I don't think, oh, that's stupid, or oh, that's kind of weird. It's ooh, that's kind of weird.
Thursday, May 2nd, and let me tell you, there are some amazing films in this lineup. Stars like Adam Brody, Julianne Moore, Steve Carell, and even Fabio make up the cast list for some of the flicks. Not to mention our very own Chapman University has 4 entries in the schedule. But to check out the festival's program, go to newportbeachfilmfest.com. Speaking of movies, let's take a look at what hits theaters today. Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson teamed up with director Michael Bay for his new action comedy flick, Pain and Gain. The story is about 2 vigilantes who try to take down a corrupt billionaire, superhero costumes and all. Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a 45% rating, but don't let that stop you. We all know Marky Mark can make us laugh. Let's take a look at the tweets the stars posted about the movie. Mark Wahlberg tweeted, "Getting ready for the Pain and Gain movie liftoff on TNT April 25th with Shaq and Charles Barkley." And you can only imagine the kind of training that goes into being one of those films. Rebel Wilson also tweeted a photo here from the Pain and Gain premiere. She looked stunning in her red dress. She tweeted, "Mark Wahlberg is such a boss. We missed you, The Rock, and send you kisses and hugs, XOXO." If you loved the Academy Award-winning Disney film Brave, you have to take advantage of this. Dodge College is offering a special guest lecture with the film's director, Mark Andrews. He will be joining us on Wednesday, May 1st at 7 p.m. in the Foligno Theater. The event is free and open to the public, but if you're a film buff like me, get there early to get a good seat. So, Wes, what did you think about Mark Wahlberg's photo there? All ripped with Charles Barkley and Shaq? What do you think?
Well, I would be in that position too. Charles Barkley, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Shaq. That's a pretty good trio right there.
Absolutely.
All right, Ryan Seacrest continues to make his mark across the Southland. Brogan Gage gives us an exclusive look at the newest addition to the Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Many people may recognize Ryan Seacrest as the voice of Kiss FM's morning talk show or the host of American Idol, but recently he's becoming a popular figure in children's hospitals. Seacrest Studios is a fully equipped radio station located on the second floor of the new Bill Holmes Tower at the Children's Hospital of Orange County. A select team of volunteers and interns dedicate time each week to DJ shows that broadcast throughout the hospital for the children. Brian Mundia has been the media programs coordinator for the Child Life Department for 8 months.
What is your favorite part about working here so far?
My favorite part is the smiles we put on the kids' faces. Seeing them come in here and kind of have wide eyes about all of the cool buttons and knobs and fun programs that we have for them to do is really kind of the best part about this job.
Earlier this month, celebrities such as Miley Cyrus, Taylor Lautner, and The Wanted stopped by Chalk to celebrate the grand opening of the new studio.
We get a chance to do a lot of different things in our daily lives, but this is what is most special to us.
Seacrest Studios also has locations in Atlanta, Dallas, and Philadelphia, and will be opening 3 more studios by the end of 2014. To learn how to get involved, visit ryanseacrestfoundation.org. I'm Brogan Gage, Chapman News.
Many celebrities also work alongside Seacrest by visiting children in the studio, including first ambassador of the Seacrest Foundation, Selena Gomez.
We now move to Chapman's attempt to raise money for cancer research.
Viella Relay for Life of Chapman's campus, where students and their families plan to walk to cure cancer.
Thanks, Bailey. I'm here at the Piazza where Relay for Life is happening in only 2 hours. I have Matt here with me, one of the volunteers and organizers of this event. Can you tell us what Relay for Life is?
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's a 24-hour walkathon here in Chapman University. Basically, it's just to raise awareness for cancer and also to fundraise for treatment, prevention, and overall advocacy. So basically, teams consist of maybe 10 to 15 people, and then they take shifts during the night all the way from 2 p.m. today till 2 p.m. tomorrow. We serve food and have all these different games and activities planned for the night. So basically, it's a big event for fun.
And how do you raise these funds, and where do the funds go to?
Mainly, we get them through emails. We send them out through the website relayforlife.com/ChapmanCA. And basically, people just send them out to their family, their friends, anyone who they know. The funds basically go to American Cancer Society, ACS. Basically, they help with things like, say a patient was far away from a hospital. They would pay for the transportation just to get there. Maybe the patient is going through chemotherapy. They'd get a wig for them. Stuff like that, small stuff.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Matt. Relay for Life starts today at 2 p.m., so come out and support the American Cancer Society. I'm Maritza Viella. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Maritza. That looks like a wonderful event. Log on to our website, chapmannews.tv, to see breaking news, top headlines, exclusive web content, all of our episodes, and Chapman Newsies bios.
And make sure you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Chapman News. We're on Twitter, @Chapman News, and of course YouTube, youtube.com/Chapman News.
That does it for this edition of Chapman News.
Thank you for trusting us. We hope to see you back here next week, Friday at noon, or online 24/7. I'm Wes Rappaport.
And I'm Bailey Maloney. Have a great weekend.